Continue the special meeting from downstairs and move upstairs. And our special guest for the special meeting is Capital Workforce Partners, North Central Region.
Thank you for coming. We had a very interesting meeting with these folks. We haven't had much experience with them previously, but Bob Casati had brought them to our attention, and so the assistant manager, myself, and the mayor met with them, and we really wanted to bring this forth to the town. We put it on our website, and I refer you to it. The Isnuntuck Training Program, for instance, is one of the programs they offer at no expense to those who participate, and they actually provide stipends, but they do much more than that. So we wanted to bring them here to explain it and let the council hear firsthand, and it'll be on YouTube, and we will also put it on the manager's Facebook, because these are great, great opportunities for people looking for further education or to diverse their job skills at no cost to them, with other assistance that really seems to be quite remarkable. So with that, I turn it over to you, Alex.
All right. Good, thank you. And Mayor, members of council, I really want to, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to the full range of supports and services available through Capital Workforce Partners. We're here tonight to really speak about opportunities for jobs, opportunities for job training, and how we provide the services and resources for residents of this community to access opportunities to get either a good job, a better job, or onto a career. So really excited at the opportunity to speak with you this evening. And I also just want to introduce two members of my team who have joined me this evening. I have Sandy Mackey, who is my Chief Program Officer. I have Mohammed Choki, who is our business service representative. Collectively, we just want to represent the full array of supports that we provide to individuals looking for jobs within this community. Just starting, just to help you understand Capital Workforce Partners, as an organization, we're here to do two things. One is to ensure that individuals have the necessary skills and credentials to compete for middle-skill jobs. Middle-skill jobs are those jobs that require more than a high school diploma but less than a baccalaureate degree. But more importantly, those are the jobs that put individuals on a career path and really give them the wage and benefits necessary for individuals to have a life of self-sufficiency. So we really strive to ensure that individuals have those industry-recognized credentials, and also at the same time ensuring that we're meeting the needs of our business community, ensuring that we're training individuals not just for the sake of training, but ensuring that they're being trained for jobs that we clearly know are available within this economy. I just want to give you a little background on Capital Workforce Partners. Capital Workforce Partners is our regional workforce development organization. We support the 37-town region of the north central portion of Connecticut. We're primarily funded through federal legislation, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act legislation. It provides a variety of funding. It allows funding for individuals who are who have barriers to employment, individuals who have basic skills issues, other kinds of issues, just have challenges, need support. So we're able to provide support to individuals who just need, some skill training and need credentials to get a job. We also have resources to support young people in school as well as young people out of school. You may have heard the notion, the note of, Opportunity Youth. Those are young people who are normally between the ages of 18 and 24, out of school and out of work. So that is another key constituent group for us. And as an organization, we have 7 career centers, and I'll speak to those career centers later on in this presentation, but we also want to laser beam on the center that we have here in Enfield in partnership with Isnuntuck Community College. And as an organization, last year we've supported well over 12,000 individuals. We've supported over 1,000 businesses. And we engage businesses through what we refer to as regional sector-based partnerships, and I'll speak more about those partnerships. And also as an organization, we're responsible for working very closely with our chief elected officials, and that's why I'm happy to be here this evening to speak to you as elected officials. We work in partnership with the chief elected officials of our 37 municipalities in the North Central region. And as an organization, I just want to keep it simple in terms of what are those things that we do. And as an organization, those three categories of things that we do. First and foremost, as an organization, we're responsible for building and managing career centers. And we have a career center located here in Enfield, and we'll speak more to that. But it's our responsibility to not just build these career centers, but ensure that individuals have all of the supports and services and resources necessary for them to get the supports that they need to get the training to acquire a job. And at the same time, we're responsible for managing a number of other workforce development initiatives within our state. Most notably, you may have heard the Career Connects initiative. That's our Governor Lamont's signature workforce development initiative, where he has invested considerable dollars to ensure that any resident within the state of Connecticut who is in need of training and supports has access to those supports, irrespective of whether they meet other categorical eligibility requirements. And then thirdly, and equally important, we're responsible for working with our business community, ensuring that we are connected with them. We provide support in terms of counseling, we provide recruitment and training events, and we're also supporting them through our sector-based partnerships. Also on this slide, it speaks to our priority populations. As I noted earlier, young people who are in school, young people who are out of school, returning citizens, individuals with disabilities, low literate adults, low income individuals. They're all categorically eligible, and we receive special resources for that. But I just want to stress that you do not need to be in one of those groups in order to access our services. Our services are available to all Connecticut residents who are in need of support, particularly supports to enable them to compete for jobs. And as I mentioned earlier, as an organization, we have a responsibility for ensuring that not only do we provide and understand what industry needs, but also ensuring that we are ensuring that those needs are met in terms of providing adequate training to individuals so they get the industry recognized credentials that they need to ensure that there's a seamless connection between training and placement into a good job. And in order for us to ensure that that is the system that we're building and ensuring that's the reality of what we're doing, we have, 4 sector-based partnerships that we support at Capital Workforce Partners. These sector-based partnerships are those, areas in our economy that have substantial need, are demonstrating substantial growth, but also are those sectors that provide opportunities for individuals to get a good job and get on the career path. So as you noted on the slide here, healthcare, we have a sectorial partnership where we're working closely with the healthcare community, ensuring that we understand what their needs are and how best to meet those needs. We also have formed an IT sector partnership working with IT companies in our region. And most notably within that sector work, we're also working with them to understand and break down some of the barriers that individuals face when they're applying for jobs in IT, particularly this notion that you have to have a baccalaureate degree in order to be eligible for IT. So we really have adopted this notion of what we refer to as skills-based hiring, where we're working with the companies to ensure that individuals have the skills, have the certificates, and not necessarily the prerequisite of a baccalaureate degree. So we're really making strides in terms of enabling individuals who do not have baccalaureate degrees to have access to careers within the IT sector. And then also with transportation, distribution, and logistics, that's another key sector, and we're providing a lot of support, particularly around CDL training. As you all know, between bus drivers and school bus drivers, there's a desperate need for CDL individuals, and we have a very aggressive program supporting that need. And then also advanced manufacturing. That is a key sector for our state, and we're supporting another group of employers representing the advanced manufacturing sector. So we're ensuring that we are knowledgeable, that we are aligned to their needs, and ensuring that our training meets the needs of employers. Because as I said, we're, as an organization, we're here to ensure that individuals are getting access to good jobs. And in addition to the services that I noted earlier in terms of the funding we received through the Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, we also have a full range of other programs, and I've just listed them on this slide. You know, we manage the state's Jobs First Employment Program, supporting individuals who are on public assistance, helping them get the skills to transition themselves from welfare to work. We have targeted resources to train individuals in IT and manufacturing. We have a special program that's referred to as the Mortgage Job Training Program, where if individuals who are behind on their mortgages are automatically eligible, and we work with them, both with their financial institutions, but also work with them to ensure that they're upskilling themselves or getting employed so that they can meet their mortgage obligations. You know, we have our Second Chance program, which is designed specifically for returning citizens, Multi-Gen, our Career Connects program, as I mentioned. So we have a variety of programs, including our Summer Youth Employment and Learning program. We manage the largest summer jobs program within the state, and we want to continue to ensure that young people have access, as well as our year-round program. So we have a full spectrum of programs that individuals who are in need of supports will figure out a way to help them along that journey. And as I mentioned, you know, this is a chart that speaks to our service region, and it speaks to the 7 centers that we have within our larger region. You know, we obviously have, you know, 2 in Hartford, one within Hartford, one located within the library. We also have centers in New Britain, Manchester, East Hartford, as well as Bristol. And then equally important, we have one in here in Enfield. And we want to, you know, I just wanted to give you like an overview of what CWP is as an organization. I will transition this presentation to Sandy Mackey, who will help you understand, and those who are in attendance, help them understand, you know, what to expect when you come into our center. What can you expect? What are the service offerings, and how best can an individual access the supports that we provide? So I'd like to transition this to Sandy. Thank you.
Thank you, President Johnson. Thank you for having me. We are here to talk about the American Job Centers, and I will endeavor to keep it brief because prior to working at CWP, I was actually the director for the American Job Centers in the North Central region, so this is one of my favorite things to talk about. And we'll start with access. So the great thing about the one-stop system that we've created is really that there's no wrong way in. So no wrong door, if you will. That's a phrase that we use often. You can walk into any one of our 7 American Job Centers during operating hours, and someone will sit and speak with you and work with you. You can also connect with us through the Career Connect portal that we mentioned earlier. When you register and get onto that site, you are automatically connected to a member of our team. You can also call the call center, and we provided that number at the end of this presentation for you. And that's going to also, it's operational, staffed by live agents Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And you can also leave a message at any hour, any day of the week, and someone will always get back to you. And you can also access the live chat. We have a bot, right, a robot, but also a person that's attached to our website at Capital Workforce Partners. And the beauty of accessing in any one of these ways is really that when you're speaking to someone, you're not just talking to that one person on the line. When you walk into the Enfield AJC at Esnuntuck, you're not just connected to that one AJC. You are plugging into the network of 80 or so workforce development professionals in the North Central region, and the breadth of all the programs and services that we as a system have to offer. So that's really important to know when you're thinking about connecting with the AJC. This right here is a photo of our Enfield American Job Center. So it's right there on the first floor, tucked in the back. And it's an excellent place to be and an excellent partnership we've developed with Esnuntuck. We try and partner with their career counselors and their career services division as well. So we're really supporting as holistically as we can. And these are some of the smiling faces. So our team is comprised of workforce experts. We have certified resume writers. We have people who will teach you digital literacy skills. We have career advisors and case managers who are there to see you through your entire journey from A to Z. We also have business service representatives on that team that work directly with the businesses, identifying placements and opportunities for internships and permanent employment for anyone who walks through our site. So it's really a full, again, team approach, the entire network that you have behind you when you connect with an American Job Center. So zooming in a little more about what we actually do, right, to give you a sense of what happens when you do connect with the AJC. Whether you are a young adult and you're entering the workforce for the first time and you need to upskill, you have a high school diploma or you don't, you're transitioning careers, perhaps you were laid off, you're interested in exploring something new, or you want a better opportunity, better wages, whether you're a veteran, a person with disabilities, anyone, really, anyone who walks through our doors, we endeavor to meet them exactly where they are and support them however we can. When you connect, you're going to speak first with someone who's going to try and assess what your goals and needs are. They're going to have a conversation to try and understand what you're looking for, and then immediately refer you to the best programs and services that are suited for you. And our most comprehensive services under WIOA that we offer are really designed to be full wraparound programming support. The beauty of that program is you are connected with a one-on-one case manager and career advisor who is going to sit with you and create an individualized employment plan that runs the gamut from A to Z of your needs. And we know that that is often inclusive of barriers or challenges that you may have in accessing that job that you want. We also know that you can't really start searching for a job or think about employment or applications unless you have some of your basic needs met. If you're struggling with rent, if you're struggling with transportation, you don't have a car, or you need childcare because you need a safe space for your children while you participate in training or skill building or what have you, our team creates a plan that is designed to address whatever you need, whether it takes you, 2 to 3 months or 1+ years. That's the beauty of what we offer. And at the AJC, you also have computer labs at all of our larger sites have a computer lab that job seekers can access to go to do job search, to work on their resume, but also to get things like a Microsoft credential, to learn maybe how to even use a computer. We all can use smartphones, but we have a digital literacy gap, and we endeavor to help that as well. So we have professionals that sit in that online learning center. And of course, training, as Alex was talking about, we offer 100% tuition assistance for the training programs that are listed in our eligible training provider list. And that is a very long list that you can access on CT Hires. But really, all of those training programs, they span probably 6-8 weeks at the minimum, and no more than 24-ish weeks, right? So it's short-term, targeted, credential-based training that you engage in with the support, again, of this team, of that career advisor, of that case manager who walks you through the entire process. And all of those trainings are aligned, again, to the high-demand sectors and to the careers, really, right? The better jobs, the good jobs that we want to see people taking once they get through the services in our system. And then once you land the job, after all of that really hard work and team effort by our team sticks with you. So there is a period of time that we continue to follow up just to check in to see how you're doing, to make sure that you are retaining that job. And sometimes all that's needed is kind of an encouraging word of, great job and keep going. And sometimes people need a little help counseling with how to talk to HR or how to navigate their paycheck or whatever it may be. Our team is designed to kind of follow up with that as well. So we mentioned a little bit about training, and we brought some flyers here that we're happy to leave. But we are offering actually right here at ASNUNTUC a series of manufacturing trainings. There are still 3 courses that are coming up. The first one I think has already started. But this QR code will take you directly to this training page information. And manufacturing is an excellent industry, and if you're not familiar with manufacturing, it looks very different now than it did 10, even 5 years ago. It's an exciting, lucrative career opportunity. So even if we have people who are interested in exploring what manufacturing looks like, we encourage you to get connected, to call the call center, walk into an AJC, and find out a little bit more, because if this training program isn't for you, there's a ton more where that came from, and we're really invested in finding the right opportunity for you. We also have healthcare training that's available, some virtual, some in person, in all of these different fields. And like most all of our programs, these training programs come with the support of a career advisor. Some of them come with stipends, they come with transportation assistance, and kind of all those wraparounds that you may need to successfully make it through training and then land that job. We are doing CDL training, which is very popular in this region, and we know that our employers, through our Transportation Distribution and Logistics, RSP, are hungry for people, for drivers, and this is a place where you can make $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 annually, and these programs offer training, CDL-A and CDL-B licensure, again with the stipends and some of the wraparound supports. And I'll end with IT training. Again, we have all these flyers here, and connecting to any of these QR codes in any of our ways will get you plugged in. IT training we're offering in these four courses: IT support, web developer for entry-level roles into IT, and then for people who maybe already have some experience, some groundwork, some understanding of IT, we have info security and network cloud maintenance, and we're gearing up to offer some more training in the coming year as well. These are all virtual. And as part of the virtual training that we're offering, we also offer laptops for folks, because we know that sometimes that's a barrier, right? We are seeking to eliminate any barrier that you may have in your pursuit of your career. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mohammed for a little bit about how we support business.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, so my name is Mohammed Chowki. Thank you for the opportunity. And we have two teams. Of course, human capital remains the most important asset for any business, regardless of time, at least in the meantime until AI takes over completely. But we have a team dedicated as business service consultants at both the American Job Center, and those are our colleagues. Tied by the hip, we work together to help address the business needs in our community. But we also have business partnership coordinators at CWP dedicated to the sectors that are critical to the regional economy. As Alex mentioned, manufacturing, IT, healthcare, transportation, distribution, and logistics, all those sectors are critical to this economy in this region, and we have dedicated staff for it. I personally work in the transportation, distribution, logistics. That's the sector I dedicate most of my time to. And we try to help business offset costs, basically, by getting the support that they need to reach their ultimate goal and have a healthy business in this region. We also have a group of North Central Region sector business-facing professionals from various partners. And basically, the common goal is to help businesses meet the needs that they have. These are partners from Department of Labor, Adult Education, community colleges, and the common goal is to come together and help the business. I know we often say in workforce development, the most common challenge is too many programs. Too many programs, that's the most common feedback we get from businesses. But who helps them navigate these programs? This is the team at CWP. This is the team at the American Job Center that can help them navigate all these programs. And we promise them not to have a very tough experience with us. There's a lot of resources at no cost. Some of them, for example, as you see on the slide here, CT Hires. This is the state job bank where companies can register, post the jobs that they have open at no cost to them. We recommend them to do that just because it gets a lot of visibility. It gets a lot of job seekers that come into our centers to register, upload their resume, and this gives us the chance to also push this through our various partners and various distribution channels. I mentioned here recruitment assistance, and I'll probably take a deeper dive on that in the next slide. There's also on-the-job training possibilities for a lot of businesses in this region. This is a program that helps the business offset training costs on new hires. It is understandable that someone that joins a company may not have the experience And the company is often hesitating, well, is it going to work? Is it not? This is a support that is offered to help offset costs, at least until the candidate, the new hire, addresses, learns the job for the first 5-6 months. All these services, we notice that a lot of businesses don't know about them. I often hear Capital Workforce Partners, best kept secret in town. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we want to make sure that we are known to the businesses in this region. There's also incumbent worker training, and this is a program that helps current staff at certain companies in certain industries upskill and move to the next position. That way it gives room for new talent to join that company. And there's also an incentive associated with that. It is very important to me and to my team that we make sure that companies of all sizes have access to these resources. They say that there is an average about $5,000 for any hire to take place. That's how much time an HR staff, if maybe more money than that, to bring someone on board. We serve as an extension to that HR team. The employer makes that final say, and this is at no cost to them. So all the screening, all the marketing of these positions, all the job matching, all the posting we can help with, this saves the HR teams around town a lot of cost. And we do that at both the American Job Center and at Capital Workforce Partners. What does this do? It offers the efficiency in hire, like I mentioned. It does give better retention and the connection to various programs, like I mentioned a moment ago. There's a lot of programs. The good news is there's a lot of programs and services. The bad news is there are so many programs and services, but we try to help the employers navigate these programs. One of the bullets earlier was talking about recruitment events, and this is something that we are very happy because we do on a regular basis. If there's any takeaway from COVID, what we learned is that we can definitely shrink the physical space, be there with the people virtually, and make people comfortable with technology, log in anywhere to interview from the comfort of their own home. And we even help them, as Sandy mentioned, at the American Job Center, know how to handle such interviews, but bring the employer and the job seeker much quicker. There's also event promotion. One thing that I'm dedicated to that we do more and more is employer spotlights. We offer the employers in this region the chance to come online virtually or in person and talk to the community. Sometimes they just need the opportunity to promote their company and talk about the opportunities that they have available. So a lot of resources. This is actually a picture of our last recruitment event that we had, in-person recruitment event that we had at the Yard Goat Stadium in Hartford, where we had a lot of companies. This was dedicated to transportation, distribution, logistics. This was the first of its kind to have in this region. And we want to make sure that, based on the feedback of employers, to make this an annual thing. I know we're working with the town of Enfield to plan for something in March, and we're very excited about that. We would like for the business community and the job seeker community to come together for employment chances. Okay, so this was the last slide, actually, and this is a way to connect with us through the number 860-406-3374, or using the QR code to connect to our websites. Thank you very much. I'll pass it down to Alex.
Yes, and in closing, again, Mayor, members of council, again, want to thank you for this time this evening. As we've mentioned, we believe that the word and the resources and the message of what Capital Workforce Partners has available, and not only just for our job seeker community, but our business community, we want to continue to elevate the awareness, elevate opportunities for individuals to take advantage of these resources. When we're really looking forward to a continued stronger relationship with Enfield and ensuring that we're able to provide these resources to individuals on the ground. So again, thank you for this opportunity, and we'll respond to any questions if you have any. But again, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. Definitely want to thank Councilman Crissati for bringing this to our attention. And I will say it again, it's the best kept secret. I do know several people who have gone through your programs, and it's a huge success story. So I think us as a town, we need to help get your word out and help get some residents of Enfield the free training that you're offering. It's a great program. Councilman Crissati.
Yeah. First of all, Alex, Sandy, and Mohammed, good to see you again, and thanks for coming into Enfield. The last time that we had met prior to our meeting that we had last week, the conversations that we had over at Advanced Auto during the National Disabilities Program and the simulated training area off Moody Road that's offered by Advanced Auto, and our conversations that we had, I had to have you come in front of the council finally to promote your program, to promote what's going on over at Asduntuck Community College, and make the community aware of the fantastic help that you offer to the residents of the surrounding towns and areas. So we are going to be, planning, in March for a job fair, which I think will be great for this area. Considering we have manufacturing, we have, distribution centers that we have here in town, and the connections that we can make, I think, is going to be great, not only for Enfield, but in our surrounding towns in the area here. But we will continue to promote this, and once again, thanks for coming in, sharing, and it's always great to see all three of you. Thanks.
Councilman Sakala.
Just very briefly, not only was that, I think, informative for us up here, I think it would be highly informative for the public as well. So if we could get this, if possible, presentation on our website, if it's not already on there with sort of the links, because I think the QR codes are really helpful as well, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, and
Thank
that's
you
why we
very
had them
much.
upstairs so we could record it and then put it out tomorrow. And we look forward, Alex, and to your team to working with you towards that job fair in March. And I think this is a great event this evening to promote that, and we'll do our best to make it a success as well. But thank you so much for coming out on this wintry evening.
Good. Pleasure. It's our
Thank
pleasure,
you.
and we're looking forward to continuing to build our relationship. So, again, thank you.
Councilman Ludwig.
Again, thank you for coming. Two questions. So if
no
someone, you
problem.
mentioned CDL, so if someone wants to go get their CDL license, would they, just curious how how you would help them, and do you help with job placement? And or, again, I know we have a New England tractor trailer school around. Just curious if someone's looking, again, I'll just use a specific CDL. How would you, so if they walked into your over at Asduntuck, basically what would be the process?
Yeah, if they walked into Asduntuck, they would meet with someone. Yeah, they'd meet with someone, probably the customer service rep at the door, who would ask them kind of what sort of programming they're looking for. So we have a couple of different funding sources that will support CDL training. So depending on the location, which school you want to be at, hours of night that you can train, daytime hours, et cetera, they'll ask several questions to match you with the best program available, and then they'll walk through the process of enrolling in that program. And that program comes with the free CDL training, and all of our programs, the goal is employment for us, right? So it's not just get the free training, it's the end, it's the career.
Is the funding dependent on getting job placement, or?
A lot of our funding, the targets are, yes. A lot
so
of the grant
so
requirements
curious, what
are
is your
jobs.
job placement rate? Just curious.
Right now, we're required to place 80% of the people we
That's
support
great.
into jobs.
Yep.
Yes.
And you mentioned, thank you, and you mentioned Second Chance Program. Could you explain that?
Yeah, we have a program that's designed to support individuals who are returning to the community, and it provides everything from a boot camp around work readiness training. We also have a number of sectors that we provide training in: manufacturing, culinary, and construction. So they would be based on their needs and their interests. They would have an opportunity to get a industry recognized credential in one of those areas, and then we support their efforts to get placed, and then we support them while they're placed to ensure that they retain that job.
And they could just walk in to
And they could just walk
Yep.
into our centers, and we can triage them accordingly.
That's great. It sounds like a great program. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
And that's a very successful program. We have a 90% retention, job placement retention rate as well. Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. Councilman Sakala, I agree with her, and we said it at the last meeting. Getting the exposure out there and people aware of these programs is huge. So thank you for all you do.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to working with you for our event in March.
Okay, great. Have a great night. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you all. And it's okay to leave these? That's okay.